Imagine living like this, unable to throw out anything.
Now look, there are dead insects in here.
What's up with people who hoard? And a revealing performance. Whispers about Marilyn and the President. A night frozen in time. When 2020 Downtown continues after this from our ABC stations.
I honestly recommend that you use Glidden paint, because I've used it myself.
Paint's really simple to apply. Not only easy to spread, but it has great coverage.
It's going to stay true to its color. It's not going to fade out.
Scrub away with Glidden, it's not going to hurt it.
And the customers are always so satisfied when they come back for more.
We do matching. We'll take whatever color people need and match it up.
We've got the experts that can show you exactly what you need.
I like it when the people come back and tell you how successful the job ended up.
Home Depot and Glidden walk hand in hand. It's a great partnership.
It's the October fashion and home sale at Lazarus. Store-wide savings plus bonus coupons in today's paper. Special hours today, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. at Lazarus.
Take good care of my baby. Be just as kind as you can be.
Wherever there's dry skin, more people in America use Vaseline Intensive Care to heal it. For great skin, take good care with Vaseline Intensive Care Lotion.
Good evening, I'm Mike Clark.
And I'm Michelle Wright.
We have late-breaking news on Action News at 11.
A local man found dead. Was the fatal blow caused by a television set?
Plus, the mother has a lot to answer for after her 3 kids were found home alone.
Then police puzzled by a fugitive still on the run. The suspect's sister fears for her life and makes another plea.
Also tonight, a big decision on a touchy subject. When is it too late for abortion?
And I'm meteorologist Mike Stone. Another tranquil day tomorrow, fairly warm, but then the coldest air of the season for this weekend. Your DiNardo Weather Watch tonight at 11.
Sky 4, only on Channel 4 Action News everywhere.
Act 3, The Hoarders. Once again, Jay Shadler.
Do you know someone who saves everything? I don't mean just baseball cards or old magazines. I mean everything, literally, from soup to nuts. Well, experts say there's a bit of the hoarder in all of us, but nothing like what you're about to see. A mother whose obsession with saving things turned out to be a symptom of a deep-seated sickness. She does not open her door to many visitors. When I crossed that threshold, I immediately understood why. All right, let's take a look.
Because bedrooms are usually personal, so I would say the kitchen. Just be careful of your step, please.
Oh, my God. Oh, Diane, I didn't...
Staggering doesn't even begin to describe it.
Where did this come from?
If cleanliness is next to godliness, this is Hell's Kitchen. And this 37-year-old woman is the archangel of messiness.
You gotta get rid of this stuff, Diane. This is...
Well, I'd like to. Right now I can't.
Now look, there are dead insects in here.
Right.
Why wouldn't you get rid of those?
Because I can't get rid of most things.
Diane, who wishes not to use her last name, is a hoarder, unable to throw away even the most trivial trash.
You can't even wash that off?
No, because I'll save the napkin from it.
Now, you've got a sponge here. Ever used it?
Yes, I have.
What if I do this?
We'll go right ahead.
I'm gonna wipe off this this bug splatter here.
Right.
Does it bother you?
A
little bit?
Well, let me see that. No, because it's gonna go right back to where it was. You're not gonna do anything with that. You're gonna put it right back to where you found it.
Diane's relentless fear of discarding anything has created this litter-strewn house where she lives with her 9-year-old son and 15-year-old daughter. The garbage heap that engulfs them, piles of papers, old clothes, filthy glasses and dishes, empty containers, rotting food, is not from laziness. Diane's hoarding is an illness, a symptom of obsessive-compulsive disorder.
What do you think when you look around this room?
I like to know where my mind snapped, where the switch went off and this happened.
Do you fully recognize that this is
bizarre, abnormal,
yes,
unclean, unhealthy, unsanitary, fire hazard? Yes, I do.
You know all that.
And I hate every minute of it.
So why don't you do something about it?
Because the mind is stronger. My mind is stronger. It's like another force that just takes over.
They are suffering in the same way that someone who's depressed suffers.
Dr. Randy Frost is professor of psychology at Smith College in Massachusetts. He's devoted his career to studying the behavioral habits of hoarders, excavating the reasons why people hoard.
It may involve some sort of brain problem, brain chemistry. On the more psychological side is this emotional attachment to possessions, where the possession that I have, I've had this pencil, and it's come to feel like a part of me. And that's the way these possessions begin to feel. It's like a part of me. If I lose it, I feel like I've lost something of myself.
Now multiply that feeling 100 times over, and you begin to sense Diane's dilemma. Like other obsessive compulsives, she's trapped in a repetitive behavior triggered by a powerful fear and a distorted sense of what is valuable. In Diane's case, she worries that if she throws an object away, something important could be lost. It began simply enough.
I started with the clutter as far as I can remember back when I was 18. I started at home with forms and bills.
But it's a short road from clutter to chaos when you save everything. She's been in this house only 4 years, and it's a jungle of junk, but not in her own mind. Diane imbues nearly every object she touches with an almost mystical significance. Watch.
I hesitate to even pick it up, but I'm going to. Here is a bagel?
Yes.
How old is that?
A roll. Good question. I don't know. Seeing that it's not really bad moldy, probably within the year.
Now, why can't you throw that bagel out?
Because
Seriously, look at it.
All right, yeah, I'll look at it and tell you. See, my eyes and the normal part of me knows that this is a bagel, but my mind, if I wanted to throw this out, which I won't, my mind will start saying, okay, now there's texture on here, there's tones, there's shades, and it's not just a roll anymore. It's become its own little world in my mind. Maybe there's something important that got inside the roll or on top of it. If you throw it out, boy, you're going to really suffer with guilt.
Diane's case is unusual only in its details. Nationally, there's an estimated 2 million people with a serious hoarding problem. Some obsessively collect specific things, like 53-year-old Doris Outler, who has boxes and boxes of yarn and fabric and piles of craft supplies filling her house.
Altoid box. I love boxes, so, you know, I'm not going to throw out an Altoid box.
And hoarding does not seem to be gender-based. 71-year-old Norm Lewis saved newspapers as a boy, and his hoarding problem only got worse with age. His one-room apartment where he now lives is cluttered with papers, magazines, books, and file boxes. Hoarding is not a new disorder. In a famous case that made headlines back in 1947, 2 reclusive brothers were found dead, buried under the 120 tons of rubbish they had packed into their 3-story townhouse. While that's obviously an extreme example, the fact is most of us know someone who has the hint of the hoarder in them. My own grandfather saved everything. Watch springs, rusted bolts, bird feathers. Sometimes he would save things that, well, we never did exactly find out what they were. Of course, the problem with hoarding only becomes serious when it starts to interfere with daily life, when all that stuff we keep keeps us from living.
Where do you eat? I mean, do you have
My daughter eats in her bedroom, and my son and I eat in the bedroom.
In the bedroom?
Yes, on the bed. Take this part from me and put that in the bags and throw it out later.
How about the kids themselves? They must be embarrassed by it, aren't they?
Nobody comes up here, so nobody knows.
But there's a greater concern. With Diane as a role model, it's possible that her children could copy her behavior.
Well, there's some indication that this tends to run in families. We don't know whether it's genetic, whether it's modeling behavior.
Diane's teenage daughter did not want to be interviewed, but when we spent some time with her son Matt, it was clear he had no trouble throwing things away or organizing his own valuables.
How do you find your toys?
I have them in the box.
Oh, where?
Somewhere around here, I think. Yeah, right here. It's in the box.
Oh, wait a minute. Where is it? It's back here?
After a few moments of digging, Matt found his toy box among his mother's mess.
Now, this is interesting to me, Matt. You have kept all your toys in a nice, clean box. Did you do this? Mm-hmm. You did this. Now, your mom would never keep things quite that clean, would she?
No.
You can understand that if health officials would know about this, they could take your kids away. Couldn't
Correct.
they? It's that bad.
Yes, it is. And that's why I refuse to give up. I refuse that I know I'm going to get some help somehow.
Like other hoarders, Diane has tried conventional therapy and mood-stabilizing drugs without much success. Among obsessive-compulsive disorders, hoarding is one of the most difficult behaviors to treat. But there is hope.
We've talked about...
Dr. Frost has developed a treatment program specifically for hoarders, and Diane has become a patient.
Anybody gives me something, it's now my possession.
In weekly group therapy sessions that will last more than a year, Dr. Frost will focus on changing how hoarders like Diane value their possessions. Equally important, the therapy will teach the patients how to organize. This is crucial hands-on work, which takes place right in the patient's home.
Okay, this is my living room.
Okay.
Diane is first to have Dr. Frost in her house, and this is his first time seeing it.
And this your dining room in here?
Yeah.
If he's shocked by what he sees, he gives no hint, but instead moves directly to helping Diane organize. Dr. Frost believes organizing serves two purposes. It simplifies for the hoarder what can be discarded, and at the same time, it creates uncluttered living space.
So would you like to get started in this room?
The goal for Diane today is to organize as much of her bathroom as possible, placing things in 3 boxes, 3 categories, ranging from easiest to throw away to hardest. For Diane, it seems everything is hard.
I even have hair from the tub that I saved. I hate even touching it. Oh, gosh.
That's all right. You're doing fine.
Oh, I should be in a loony bin.
No, you're doing fine.
This is not right.
You're doing fine.
Only a few minutes later, the full reality of her life and her condition comes crushing down.
The Band-Aids would go in that box, too. It's so stupid.
Okay. So this part of it, even though you're not throwing things out, this part of it's hard for you, huh?
Yeah, it just reinforces how strange and different I am.
We want them to learn how to tolerate the emotional discomfort that comes along with throwing away a possession that they feel they're emotionally attached to.
Medium.
After 45 minutes of excavating, it's not surprising it's the hard box that contains the most items. Diane, however, manages to let go of a few small things. A tiny piece of paper, an alcohol swab, both from the easy box.
No, I could throw this out. It's not distressing.
There's no hard data yet on how well this therapy works, but Dr. Frost claims some success with past patients. And elsewhere, similar kinds of therapy have shown encouraging results.
Doing a good job, babe.
Joanne Atkinson overcame her hoarding problem with a type of therapy similar to Dr. Frost's. Her turnaround was impressive. You can see the change in the living room.
I could actually sit down if I want to. And
the bedroom.
I could sleep on my bed.
And the kitchen.
It's a big change.
This kind of improvement seems a distant goal for Diane, but perhaps no longer unreachable.
Do you think that you can now go back and start doing some of that categorizing?
Yes, I felt that way yesterday when he left. I wanted to go out and get a whole bunch of cardboard boxes and start organizing.
And shortly after her in-home visit with Dr. Frost, Diane recorded this miniature milestone.
We put some boxes over here by order of importance. So
after finishing lunch with her son, she put the leftover trash in the categorized boxes.
This is the easy box, so I'm putting this in because I know that's easy.
Bringing her a small but necessary step closer to actually throwing it out.
You gonna get better, Diane?
I am determined to get better. I know it's going to be a long process because it took a long time to get that house cluttered. The hard stuff is going to be the worst.
In the end, secreted away amid all her mess is a 3-by-5-inch memory of how she once was and may yet be.
This is a picture that I always keep handy because I'm hoping someday I can go back to this. I took pictures of my room when I was growing up at home, and my room was spotless and clean. And it's very, very fulfilling to look at that because I know that that's me.
I checked with Diane this week, and she told me she's making slow, but for her, significant progress. Maybe she's finally gotten rid of that bagel. Coming up next, a moment in time that happened just a few blocks from here at Madison Square Garden. When we come back, Joel Segal with a backdoor story of Marilyn Monroe, JFK, and the performance that hinted at something more.
all of the rumors, all of the innuendos, all the insinuations added that little tinge of excitement and curiosity.
"71 days until the celebration of the century."
Smell this. Ooh. It's green, it stinks, and it's, hey, boss, Marty! Marty! Hey, Marty! Who buys this stuff? It stinks!
Well, Fletcher, the people who buy that stinky cheese also buy 92% of the miniature vegetables we sell. Wow, look at the margins on miniature vegetables.
How can he know that?
He's just making it up. No, I'm not.
Colgate Total toothpaste is used and recommended by more dental hygienists than any other brand. You have to figure. They know more about toothpaste than you do. Colgate Total. It's toothpaste, only better.
My mama told me you better shop around.
Who's kidding who? The fact is, Burlington Coat Factory's prices are a lot lower than the department store sale prices on the same top-quality, famous designer coats for ladies, men, and children. With over 15,000 coats in every location, nobody comes close to today's Burlington Coat Factory. We're more than great coats, but oh, what great coats.
My mama told me you better shop around.
This is power. The power in new Duracell Ultra. The most powerful alkaline battery in the world. For ultra performance in whatever it powers. New Duracell Ultra. More power. More life.
2020 Downtown, the newest member of the 2020 family, now in its 21st year. Winner of over 350 prestigious awards for excellence in broadcast journalism.
Sunday means 2 David Kelly shows back-to-back.
I was hoping you could help me find my wife's heart.
It's poetic. Gross. He's searching for an organ.
Snoops then.
You killed your wife, and now you're telling the world that she tried to kill you?
He's gone mad.
Objection!
He's closer to me than my own father. The Emmy-winning Practice right after Snoops, ABC Sunday, 9, 8 Central.
Hi, my name is Joe. My name is Joe.
Come on,
my
Joe.
Name is me, Joe. Hi, my name is Joe. My name is Joe. My name is Billy Joe. Hi, my name is Joe.
Excuse me.
Joe. My name is
Broadway Joe.
Hi, my name is Joe.
Okay, so you're not a brain surgeon and you're not married to one. You never climbed Mount Everest. Man, you haven't even paid off your car loan. Why don't you spend a little time with someone who doesn't care about any of that stuff? A kid. Become a mentor. Schedule time every couple of weeks to help a kid. Put children first.
Multimillionaire Republican Jim Roddy, famous for firing hardworking employees, has hired an actor to play a barber saying Cyril Wecht is not for working families. Here are the facts. Cyril Wecht is for a property tax cut targeted to working families. Roddy's not. Wecht fought against unfair foreign competition that costs us jobs in the steel industry. Roddy didn't. And Wecht is endorsed by the working men and women of Allegheny County. Roddy's not. Come on, Mr. Roddy. Get out of the gutter.
Act 4, Marilyn and the President. And now, Joel Segal.
This is one of those stories you hear and think, wow, that'd make a terrific movie. The most beautiful woman in the world makes a play for the most powerful man in the world in front of 15,000 total strangers. But this is a movie Hollywood would never make. Pitch this story, they'd throw you out face first onto Sunset Boulevard, even though the story is absolutely true.
May 19th, 1962. They sold out Madison Square Garden to celebrate the president's 45th birthday. The Democrats raised $1 million to resuscitate their bankrupt party, and Marilyn Monroe raised 100 million eyebrows. Even in grainy black and white, you can feel the electricity and smell the heat. It was a star-studded evening, and Diane Carroll was one of the stars.
Marilyn Monroe singing happy birthday to the President of the United States. All of the rumors, all of the innuendos, all the insinuations added that little tinge of excitement and curiosity. So we knew we were part of an historic event.
Mr. President, for all the things you've done.
The innuendos and insinuations were about the possibility of an affair between Marilyn Monroe and President John F. Kennedy.
And our problems by the ton.
There was an unwritten rule in the 60s. The press didn't report on politicians' extramarital affairs. The papers didn't talk about them, but Kennedy did. Even to British Prime Minister Harold Macmillan the first time they met, as Kennedy biographer Richard Reeves found out researching Macmillan's diaries.
Macmillan asked Kennedy how he felt. I mean, the man looked like God, but he actually was sick most of the time, and Kennedy answered, well, Harold, you know, I get these terrible headaches if I don't have a woman every 3 days. Does that happen to you?
There is documented evidence of John F. Kennedy's liaisons with a number of women, but not with Marilyn Monroe. There were rumors, though. I heard them back then from a high school buddy who parked cars at Peter Lawford's parties in Malibu, who swore he saw them in the back seat of a Rolls Royce. Others had seen them in Malibu and at parties in Palm Springs in New York City while Kennedy was president. Marilyn Monroe was a frequent caller to the White House, and the president stopped taking her calls.
Marilyn Monroe was big trouble. She was talking to people. She was telling people the president's going to divorce his wife and marry me.
There was never any evidence for that. I mean,
no, the only real solid evidence that someone like me can come up with is telephone records that she regularly called. But all that proved was that basically she felt free to call the White House a lot. And by then, she was in such shape that even the people who knew her and loved her were never sure whether she was talking truth or fantasy.
In 1962, Marilyn Monroe was in emotional free fall. Her career was collapsing. Her studio was trying to fire her. These are costume tests from a film that was never finished and would never be released. Depressed over a broken marriage and a miscarriage, addicted to a Nembutal to go to sleep, amphetamines to wake up, drug spiral, this is the only nude scene she ever allowed to be filmed. The film would have been called Something's Got to Give. What gave was Marilyn. Joan Greenson, here in a rare interview, was her friend.
So she was very lonely. She didn't have a lot of friends. So in a sense, she was a prisoner of her own fame. And this made it very hard for her to reach out, to have any kind of normal life.
In the spring of 1962, actor Peter Lawford, President Kennedy's brother-in-law, invited Marilyn to sing Happy Birthday at the president's party. She said yes, even though she was scared to death to sing in public.
I remember sitting on the bathtub listening to her as she was putting on makeup, and she would sing to me. As it got closer to the time of her going, she got more and more nervous about it. And I gave her my children's book of The Little Train That Could, which is the story of a train that breaks down with toys for Christmas for the children on the other side of the mountain. And
this is I Think I Can,
yes,
I Can.
Yes,
oh.
And it was, you know, sort of very strange for me. You know, I'm a 21-year-old art student, you know, and I'm saying, oh, I know you can, you know, get out there and you know, do a good job.
Joan Greenson told me she never got her book back. Part of Marilyn Monroe's estate, it's being sold at Christie's, estimate $1,000 to $1,500. The catalog describes childish pencil scrawls, possibly Marilyn Monroe's. They aren't. They're Joan Greenson's.
15,000 people pay from $3,000 to $1,000 to honor Mr. Kennedy.
This was a great night, the merger of Hollywood glamour, Washington power, and New York money. It impressed Dr. Matilda Krim, the new bride of the event's organizer, Arthur Krim.
Somebody leaned on me and said, you know, Matilda, from now on it can only go downhill.
Jimmy Durante and Shirley MacLaine joked,
I know there's a million good-looking guys, but I'm a novelty.
Ella Fitzgerald sang. Jack Benny played. And 3 times Peter Lawford introduced Marilyn Monroe.
Here she is.
It was a running gag. Everybody knew Marilyn never got anywhere on time.
Mr. President, because in the history of show business, perhaps there has been no one female.
She was backstage having been sewn into one dress and cut out of another.
Usually she would have some sort of like house dress on that they would actually cut her out of so that it wouldn't mess up her hair so that she could get dressed to go out. But it was
literally cut?
Yeah, they cut the dress. I mean, those were the days when your hair, you know, God forbid it should move. Kind of, you know.
The dress that she wore to the garden, she was sewn into it. That's
I'm sure, yes, yes, and she wore absolutely nothing under it. Underwear was not something that she wore, not at this point in her life.
Mr. President.
And finally,
the late Marilyn Monroe.
She was all excited, and she knew she was going to take her coat off just really at the last minute, and then she'd just light up the whole place.
I think we were all holding our breath because we knew she was extremely nervous. I mean, really, just petrified. We weren't worried about the dress. We knew the dress was almost lacquered onto the body. And as she began to sing, and we realized that it was tongue-in-cheek.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
later that night, there was a post-garden party at Matilda Krim's New York townhouse. Jimmy Durante found a piano on the second-floor landing and led some impromptu entertainment. The official White House photographer Cecil Stoughton took these pictures. That's Harry Belafonte and Diane Carroll.
I haven't a clue what we're saying in that picture. I only know that usually when I looked at John F. Kennedy, it was very difficult for me to concentrate. He was a very charismatic, handsome, virile, masculine man. Did I say it all?
There was a room full of witnesses. Marilyn Monroe left the party after 3 a.m. There was no meeting with JFK, not that night, but the rumors continued.
I read in a tabloid sometime later that it was suspected that we had an underground passage to lead guests like Marilyn Monroe to the Carlisle Hotel in the suite of the president.
I read that. How many blocks away was your house from the Carlisle Hotel?
Oh, some 20.
This is the only surviving photo of Marilyn Monroe and the Kennedys taken that night. Others were taken, but they were taken away.
We had the visit, and I don't know if it was the Secret Service or the FBI, but two men came and they said they would like to see our pictures. We showed them and they said, could they borrow them? They will return them later. And they took the pictures and they were never returned. And we asked for them and could never get them back.
And these were what pictures?
Specifically the pictures with Marilyn Monroe in them.
Working on this story, I looked at it for the very first time from Marilyn Monroe's point of view. This is a story of mythic proportion. A woman we thought had almost everything. She thought she had almost nothing. She pursued maybe the one man in the world who was her equal in fame, in charisma, the only way she knew how. And she was so successful, he was afraid to see her again. That's another reason Hollywood would never make this movie. It doesn't have a happy ending.
3 months later, Marilyn Monroe was dead. A suicide. She was 36. Next Wednesday night, Christie's will auction off the dress Marilyn Monroe wore that night. There's no concrete evidence to link the president and the movie star, but maybe it's the mystery that makes the story so compelling. And the memories, and how much of our own lives we relive when we hear that little girl's voice turn a child's song into a seduction.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
The dress is expected to sell for more than $1 million.
She was beautiful. Here's a reality check for you. Had she lived, Marilyn Monroe would now be 73 years old. We'll be right back.
action news.
Late-breaking details on a body found. Was there foul play?
Plus, downtown drivers beware a parking problem that could cost you your car.
And a very special award for a special athlete. Why this local teen is in the spotlight.
Next.
Every kid knows, if you want to make the big leagues, you better eat your Wheaties. And every dad should know, whole grain Wheaties may help prevent cancer. Numerous studies confirm a low-fat diet rich in whole grain foods like Wheaties may reduce the risk of certain cancers. So when he does make the big leagues, you'll be in the front row. 100% whole grain Wheaties and new Wheaties Raisin Bran, champions in the fight against cancer.
A new report in a leading medical journal suggests the excess risk of breast cancer associated with alcohol consumption may be reduced by folic acid. Centrum has folic acid. When a vitamin is in the news, it's in Centrum.
Have a great idea? Expand on it. Introducing an all-new Kotex Light Days, the leading liner now with 20% extra coverage, so you're extra protected, extra comfortable. You've got it together with Kotex.
Coming up tomorrow on 2020 Friday, he may be the most reviled man in Britain, Captain James Hewitt. His new book reveals intimate secrets about his affair with Princess Diana. Just what kind of a man would do that? Find out tomorrow on 2020 Friday at 10, 9 Central. And next Thursday here on 2020 Downtown, bodies taken far beyond tattoos or piercing into the weird, the disturbing, sometimes right into the danger zone.
I wanted to have the first metal mohawk.
Is this art or mutilation? Next Thursday on 2020 Downtown. That's our view of the world from above Times Square tonight. We hope you'll come downtown every Thursday night with us. And don't forget our new Thursday evening feature coming up in just a moment at 11 Eastern Time. You can log on to our website, abcnews.com, chat with some of the people in our stories. I'm Jay Shadler. For all of us here at 2020, good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
Pittsburgh hosts Atlanta, Monday night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.